This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
Dozens of pro-Palestine demonstrators are planning to march on the campus of St. Louis University this week. This is after police arrested 100 protesters over the weekend at Washington University. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. The chancellor of Washington University said Saturday was a, quote, dark, sad day for the school. He says any students or outside groups attempting to establish encampments will face removal from police. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is live outside the university with more on the fallout from the demonstrations. Mark.
Mike and Ann, good evening. Police cracked down hard on pro-Palestine protesters here at the campus on Saturday. None of the people arrested face any charges at this time, but the chancellor says they do intend to press charges for trespassing because officers gave them the order to leave and they didn't. In a letter to the Washington University community Monday morning, Chancellor Andrew Martin wrote a large group of individuals came to campus intending to disrupt and do harm.
He did do harm. I have friends who are worried about head injuries.
Martin wrote, they did not leave voluntarily, so we made the decision to peaceably remove them. Unfortunately, they physically resisted. This video shows police tackle a 65-year-old professor as officers dragged other demonstrators toward a police van.
His actions incited people to realize just how dire the situation is.
Sophomore Penelope is a member of Jewish Students for Palestine. She responded to the chancellor's claim that, quote, we fully support free expression.
What does free speech mean if free assembly isn't allowed, if free expression isn't allowed, and if free speech that is a little disruptive isn't allowed?
We absolutely hold the First Amendment paramount.
Campus Rabbi Jordan Gerson said the chants crossed a line.
But what happened yesterday was not a pro-Palestine rally. It was an anti-Israel, anti-Jewish hate rally, which called for violence against the Jewish community with calls for intifada.
Police arrested 100 demonstrators and booked them at the St. Louis County Jail before their release. The chancellor said 23 students now face discipline proceedings at the school and claimed inaccurately that the rest are already facing criminal charges for trespassing and, for some, potentially resisting arrest and assault. The county and municipal prosecutors told us campus police have not filed any charging documents yet. Charges for trespassing or misdemeanor assault could eventually land here at the Clayton Municipal Court and not County Prosecutor Wesley Bell's office.
I think that the school has handled it well.
Mason Stallings is the editor-in-chief for the Danforth Dispatch, a paper where he writes a rebuttal to the list of demands from demonstrators.
It is taking a view on that conflict, half a world away, that is very one-sided.
Financial audits show the university holds $15.4 million in investments, and its managed endowment pool is valued at $12.5 billion.
The university and universities as a whole should divest from more.
They're trying to make WashU's financial decisions for the school.
If and when charges are filed, officials are already under pressure to drop them. While Congresswoman Cori Bush has not explicitly joined those calls to drop charges, she did criticize the police action over the weekend and said, quote, those in power who resort to violence and move to suppress academic freedom and dissent do so as an act of desperation, she said, because they see the tides turning in the growing movement of people demanding justice. Live on the campus of Washington University, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
Tonight, a shooting survivor is thankful after the man who shot him was convicted of murder. Robert Tarr was found guilty of killing his ex-girlfriend and trying to kill Chris Smith. The two victims were on their first date when this happened. Our Justina Cornell has been following this case for several years and spoke to Smith today. Justina.
Mike, we've been following Chris Smith since that deadly night in November 2021, following his recovery journey. He tells me there's no doubt Robert Tarr is guilty. It's about time this happened.
What I'm trying to do is get his leg back to working again.
It's taken time for Chris Smith to move forward.
My leg, I've got the bioness, but I work out 5 days a week and I just keep going.
Taken time to heal.
I lost everything. I've lost my life without being killed.
He said he had everything he could ask for until one November night in 2021. Smith went on a first date with Leslie Reeves right before Thanksgiving. Reeves' ex-boyfriend Robert Tarr from Collinsville tracked them down at his Farmersville, Illinois home.
So he apparently came to my back side door of my house, ripped open the storm door, and then apparently we were in the kitchen cooking a pizza. She saw this happen. She went to move the fridge in front of the door, and then apparently I got down like this to hold the door. He fired to the door, and that's when the bullet came in my head.
Friday, a jury found Tarr guilty of killing his ex-girlfriend and attempting to kill Smith. Tarr could spend the rest of his life in jail.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you very much. There was so much overwhelming evidence.
And the biggest proof is his pain.
Appreciate that you can tie your shoes with one hand. You can button your shirt. You know, I mean, just like, don't take anything for granted.
Since the shooting, Smith has had 3 strokes. He said he continues to push the limits, and he's been able to use his voice.
Thank the Lord, I have a voice and I can sing. So I have started my band up again.
Smith signed a book deal in January.
My Deadly First Date, a story of survival, inspiration.
The message is to motivate, and while it's taken time, he believes he's heading in the right direction.
No matter how bleak things look, it will get better. Don't ever give up on anything in life. Never give up.
The sentencing for Robert Tarr is July 1st, and Smith is expected to make a victim impact statement. Tarr could face a minimum of 76 years behind bars.
A 15-year-old is recovering after police say he was shot in the back while at a party. It happened in a short-term rental in the downtown West neighborhood. Our Holden Kerwicki joins us now live from police headquarters downtown. Holden.
Well, and over the last year, St. Louis Metro Police have been called to that area where the shooting took place along North 21st Street 53 times. Though the city does have rules in place on short-term rentals and so-called problem properties, I found out today it could be some time before those rules are enforceable. At the intersection of North 21st Street and Lucas Avenue, things are quiet. But those who live in the area say it was a much different scene early Sunday morning.
I heard a variety of shots. It was something, I thought it was the 4th of July.
Bullet holes are visible in windows on the building and a car parked nearby. But of greater concern to 14th Ward Alderman Rasheen Aldridge is that a 15-year-old was shot in the back.
Hopefully the individual is okay. You know, these tragic situations, even though it's not summertime, we hear about them too much, especially at summertime.
St. Louis Metro Police are currently investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting, but say early indications are that the incident started at a short-term rental.
Airbnbs are not meant to be party places. They're not meant to be spaces where, you know, there's 25, 30 people in there to having a party with no parent supervision.
In 2023, the city of St. Louis attempted to crack down on parties at short-term rentals by passing legislation requiring multiple night stays, capping the number of short-term rentals an individual can operate, and requiring rental owners to register with the city.
And there was really no requirements or accountability measures to be able to kind of close these Airbnbs, but there is now.
At least in theory. Though Mayor Jones signed the legislation into law in November, Aldridge says it could be at least another year before an online registration portal is up and running.
With the transaction of a new building commissioner, and we always said that it's probably going to take a year, which I know isn't helpful for most residents here, but it takes time to set up this infrastructure to make sure it's right.
Originally, the plan was to have that online portal to register short-term rentals up and running by November of this year. But since owners of short-term rentals have a 6-month grace period to register, Aldridge says that program will more than likely start in 2025. Reporting live in downtown West, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
Week 2 of the Thomas Kinworthy murder trial began today in downtown St. Louis. Prosecutors spent today questioning a forensic psychologist who was the star witness for the defense. Dr. Patricia Zapp says Kinworthy should be found not guilty by reason of mental defect. Kinworthy is charged with murder, accused of killing St. Louis police officer Tamaris Bohannon in 2020. Prosecutors tore into Zapp's testimony, saying Kinworthy had almost no history of mental illness.
There isn't a single document that you were given that exists before August 29th of 2020 that documents that the defendant has any other mental illness but depression, correct?
That's correct.
The trial, which began last week, is expected to last until this Thursday or Friday.
Coming up, St. Louis announces its 4th of July plans. All the activities packed into a one-day celebration.
Plus, why Belleville is the backdrop for a new music video.
And we aren't singing. Raindrops will be falling on our head over the next couple of days, but by Thursday into Friday, there's more rain on the way. We're tracking what's ahead for the rest of this week.